stay conservative, run the ball here on third down.
Here's Richardson. He takes it in for his first NFL touchdown. And Pittman takes it inside the 20, the 10, towards the end zone. Touchdown on 2nd and 28. The Colts capitalize. Richardson to Pittman, 39 yards.
Good evening, everybody. It's your boy Leroy. We are kicking with the crew. Got almost all my guys here. We are getting pretty close here. Got Trev with me in the bottom corner. Got Damon in there in the bottom of the left corner there. And got our guy Zach here with us, man. We are getting pretty close to being whole. So appreciate everybody coming in tonight.
Sure.
And how you guys' weekend going so far?
It's good.
Going well, man.
Got some fall
College
weather
football.
down here too. Yep.
I hope I wasn't just yelling into the mic. I know I was talking pretty loud there.
No, you're good.
Pretty pumped up for college football all day. So I hope everybody's weekend is going good, though. But we are almost here. One more sleep and we get game day, man. I hope everybody's pumped and ready to go, man. It's been a long time coming, ready to get things rocking.
It's been too damn long, dude. Feels like the longest off season I couldn't tell you how long. Maybe it's just the excitement for this season, but
man, how our last season ended, bro.
Yeah,
I mean, we knew when our off season started. You know what I mean? It started in the middle of at the end of a game. So I'm ready. I'm itching.
High time, dude.
Most definitely ready to get it started. But why don't we go ahead and jump into first things first, man? I know you guys heard the news. Looks like our roster has finally been set and called in stone. Looks like our starting cornerbacks are Juju Brents and Jalen Jones. I don't think there's too much surprise there. But safety has finally been settled between Nick Cross and Rodney Thomas. Nick Cross has been named the free safety there. You guys have any comments or any thoughts on that as far as that went?
I mean, more or less, I felt like what I expected. I do think we'll see regular swaps between Cross and Thomas. I think they both get plenty of snaps. But, maybe that's a good sign. Maybe it's a good sign that Cross is starting. Maybe he's finally starting to show something. What do you think, Damon?
Yeah, he got most of the reps that I saw in preseason and in camp, so it wasn't really a surprise to me. But it's time to show. It's time for him to step up and show us what he's got. And I don't think I have much more to add there. Yeah.
Kind of a different. I've kind of kept this opinion to myself the past couple of weeks, just because I went back through and I had to re-hype myself and reappreciate the Juju Prince train, because his college tape at Kent State is unreal.
Yes.
But if he can stay healthy, he's the legit difference maker at corner, for this defense. He's the one guy who I truly feel, just an example that I feel comfortable you could put on Stephon Diggs one-on-one and be like, hey, go take care of him.
Yeah.
We know you're gonna give up some catches, but no yak. So go take if Juju Brents stays healthy all year, I feel like that's the type of corner the Colts have. Jalen Johnson's a dog. He's going to give you effort. He's going to make the plays that he makes. He's not going to miss tackles. Ballard found himself a guy in the 7th round of last year's draft. And that dude is quality. But to me, the X factor at corner specifically is Juju's health. And if he stays healthy, I truly believe he could be a nasty pairing with Kenny Moore.
Dude,
well, then I hope we line him up against Stephon Diggs and not Nico Collins.
Yeah.
Facts.
I'm glad you said that, though, because I feel like there's been this mount. I don't want to call it a hate train, but just, I don't know, maybe just this big doubt against Juju Brents. And I still feel like the sample size of what we have from him is so small from last year. We really don't even know what we have yet. So if you just go off, like you said, his college tape, and then the little bit that we did get from him last year, those games that was able to play healthy, it's been overall pretty optimistic.
That Baltimore game, he was a dog in that Baltimore game.
Good in Baltimore, good against the Raiders.
If he gives you that effort, are we really mad? Bro, hell no. I will take that from Juju if he plays that style of game. The physicality, the coming up and being aggressive in the run.
Yeah, man. He's a big dude too for a corner.
Yeah. I mean, he's 6'4". I didn't realize he was 6'4".
He's
They
huge.
shared
Man, those arms, man. I was telling you
dude,
guys, his arms look
somebody
like
shared a
alien.
video. His
He's a freak, dude.
freak.
We just need him to
So-
stay healthy, man. It could be
Yeah.
really interesting. I'm glad I'm not the only one that's like cautiously optimistic there.
I mean, I'm not cautiously optimistic. I'm pretty set with what we have. Like I said, it's always been veteran depth for me at corner, just to have that depth there, so we're not going back to guys behind them and then having that kind of stuff that's behind them.
Right.
We had last year. So that's the more so the problem for me. Even if you look back, like they were rated, Jalen Jones and Juju Brents, their next gen stats, they were rated as 2 top man corners in the league when they were facing in man to man. So, like Damon had said, he didn't want him guarding Nico. I think that's when you have those zones and those miscommunications where you got a safety who's supposed to be the guy behind you. Next thing you know, you looking over and you getting burnt because you had the under and safety over the top. So, you know.
We don't want we don't want Juju taking a knee in the middle of the game.
Yeah, exactly, man. So let's make sure his safety help over the top is there. But I'm definitely glad we finally got it all settled out, man. Got our guy Chad in here with us. He made it early today,
up,
man.
Chad?
Appreciate you,
Yo,
Chad.
Chad,
This is
you said you gotta pay for streams, bro. Doofu Sports that, my guy. Like,
I don't know if we
What
can
I
say
got
on
today.
stream, but there are ways. There are ways.
there are
Chad.
ways.
There are ways. And then we got Mark Lair. I don't know if your name is new, but it looks pretty new. So
It's
appreciate you coming in. He's saying Colts win. We'll get to
Mm-hmm.
that later on in the show. Yeah, Zach got to that comment there. Tomorrow's game day. Yes, sir. You see
There
that's
are
my name
ways,
there on the
Chad.
bottom.
What's up, Joey?
So, yeah, man, I think that was something that I was pretty happy to see. I was pretty surprised that he was at free safety and not strong safety as far as him and Blackman being set up there. But like Trev has said, I think they're going to be interchangeable as far as free safety and strong safety goes, which lets me know that Gus is starting to show some confidence in some of these guys going into year 3 with this defense. So not being too stagnant, being able to switch those guys up and being able to see different coverages means we shouldn't be sitting in 94% of what we're showing in coverage like we did last year.
I did some digging because I got bored at work today because, you know, like, who wants to work on a Saturday? I do. I love money. But you do realize every pick, all but 2 picks on this roster are Ballard picks. Well, yeah, every single player on this team is a Ballard pick, either a UFD or like
that's not true.
The only 2 that aren't are DeForest Buckner and Ryan Kelly.
Ryan Kelly, yeah.
But like
Kenny
every
Moore.
other.
You mean everybody else Ballard is either picked or brought in?
Has picked or brought in.
Oh, okay. I understand that. My bad.
Every single player on this is truly like the Colts have the most homegrown talented roster in the NFL at 96%, with only 2 dudes on the entire roster being guys that were either drafted and or previously taken before. Like, Grigson's only good pick was Ryan Kelly.
Yeah,
for his entire
no, that's left. Let's not say his entire time because he did pick Andrew Luck. He did pick
he retired. He retired. I'm not gonna hold that against him. But like
I'm just saying, you said only good pick, so I was just saying
the only thing
the last one
left
standing.
of Grigson on this roster is Ryan Kelly.
Sure.
And I hate Grigson, just so everybody knows.
Right. And then if we're being honest, you could say Ballard traded the 13th overall pick for DeForest Buckner. So in that way he is, but I found that absolutely wild that this roster is literally like 97%.
Yeah, I mean,
Ballard
dude, when he goes up there and says, "I like the guys I got," he means that shit. He's not bringing in anyone from anywhere unless he personally vetted that. Like, this is Ballard.
It's got to translate. It's got to translate. This is.
I was just about to say the fact that you threw that out there. I was about to say this should be the final times for excuses now.
Right.
This needs to all be
the team you want.
Like we've had, I want to say we've had 2 playoff appearances during Ballard's tenure, and we've had, I want to say, I think it's been 3 pretty much finishes where we were getting close to the line and we're fighting for
one
playoff
game out
spot,
3 times,
and we've missed 3 times. So I think that goes to show that there's 5 out of those 8 years that we know we should be getting over the hump.
Yep.
This is the time. So
No
these
more
are all
waiting,
your
dude.
guys.
Your team.
This is what it is. We need to be a
Ready to
playoff
go.
team. We're not saying go championship or something like that.
But we need to see
There's
something.
got to be playoff team. There's got to be the time is now.
I agree completely.
I just found that interesting tidbit. I was like, holy hell. Only 2 guys on this entire roster at some point in time, whether it's an undrafted free agent or whatever it is, weren't essentially Ballard draft picks or Ballard picks in general.
Yeah. And then so just something here that I want to just to drop in with you guys while we had a little something with the show, just because there hasn't been too much outside of some regular practices. Oh, and to everybody out there, window and roof are going to be open for Sunday. Matt Gay hasn't been officially ruled out, but we called up Spencer Schrader as a kicker for him. So Matt Gay will likely be inactive for today. I'm also on the same training cut Matt Gay. And
that's
then
22 million.
Josh Downs has also been ruled out for Sunday. But yeah, just want to get into these NFL rankings. I lost my screenshot of who the guy was, but I typically only use the one from NFL Network because it's the NFL. I don't go to all the other ones, ESPN, Pro Football Network, all the other ones. I just try and follow one, just to have consistency as I go through the season, just keeping up with them. Obviously, everybody remember this is week to week. They change all the time. So the Houston Texans for the division were set at number 7 on the power rankings. They actually just moved back a spot. Not sure why. No games have been played, but there's a little red minus, so they've been moved back. Jacksonville is set at number 17. We are set at number 21. And then the Tennessee Titans are set at number 25. They actually moved up 3 spots over that. So as you guys hear those rankings, so 7, 17, 21, and 25, we are ranked number 3 where we finished in the division. Any surprises there or anything that you think does it sound egregious or anything? Does those spots sound pretty good to you guys or about where they should?
It's a little low. Like we did finish 9-8. We finished with a winning.
You mean
the
a
Colts.
little low for us?
Colts are a little low.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I don't think we're top 10 or anything like that on rankings. I'm not trying to be a homer, but 21's a little low, brother. Like, I think we're also in that 17, 18 range, or maybe a little bit higher with Jacksonville. And then I think we'll exceed that with our play. But just for preseason rankings, just looking at the roster and everything, and the team we go in with, we finished 9-8 last year, winning team with Gardner Minshew, with a lesser team, and that team has now improved and gotten more experience. I don't really understand the reasoning for having us that low. I'm not gonna say egregious, but it's low for sure.
I don't think I overly disagree with it because our team has a lot of. We need to prove it.
Sure.
That needs to kind of come along. I mean, our secondary is completely unproven. Our quarterback is unproven. You know what I mean? So we haven't seen. I mean, that's the 2 most probably important parts of football today is your secondary and your quarterback. So I think that there's a lot to be proven at this point. But how many times have we seen the Colts? I think back to Phillip Rivers' season, we were ranked 18 or 19 in the power rankings, and then we were 3-4 the whole year after that. You know what I mean? So power rankings don't mean nothing in the NFL. It's a week-to-week league, and I've been a Colts fan my whole life, and over the last 15 years. How many times have we started 2-5, 3-5, and then made the playoffs or snuck into last minute and looked at the best team in football? So I don't pay attention to none of that junk. Yeah,
absolutely. And we got Joey Carr in here saying what's up. Shout out to ZTV and those guys. Gonna throw this in real quick here, Zach, before you chime in there. So we got new merch coming out for ZTV. Everybody go check that out. ZTVonline.com /shop. They got new merch out there. We also have our merch as well. Go check out Kick It With the Crew with our new logo. We got scorestream.com. Go check out all your football games, your sports, whatever you like. Keep up with the scores and games going through the years and keep up with all your sports, man. Next, we got On Point Golf. Go get your stuff, man. I hear everybody's golfing. It's not something that I do these days, but you go check it out, man. Go get your stuff. I know a lot of people out there golfing. Next, we got Lemmy Attorneys, Kentucky, Indiana. Go talk to him, man. I know a lot of people need that.
Let me get an attorney. You know what I mean?
Whatever your needs may be.
Let me get Lemmy, dude.
Check out an attorney.
Let me get an attorney.
Yeah, let me. And then we got 23wines.com. I know everybody out there is wine lovers, so go check that out as well.
Yeah, hey, you compare that.
Shout out to you guys.
you can pair those wines with like your tiers, depending on what kind of fan you are. So like those wines
Houston's
pair really
gonna
well
need
with
that
tiers.
23 wines tomorrow.
Like Houston, you're gonna need it. Tennessee, you can't even stop the run, dog. Y'all better tighten up there. So like like you're gonna need that wine to go with your tiers. And Jacksonville just paid Daniel Jones 2.0 all that money, so they need they need that wine for them tiers. But
and when we're done with CJ Stroud, they're gonna have to hit up Lemmy attorneys and make sure their injury insurance is all good.
All right, and then we got Cody Knuckle here saying we need this win bad. Let's go, Coach Nation. We got the Pats fan that loves the Jacksonville Jaguars and calling for them to take us out. We got, I'm not gonna say that one out loud. Chad, we have a pretty decent team overall. They just have to click at the moment and then take off.
Just wait for it.
Cody's saying, "Get out of here with that BS." I'm assuming you're one of the other guys' fans. Joey's saying facts. I'm assuming that's to one of the the advertisements there. So Zach, what were your thoughts on the 7 for Houston, 17 for Jags, 21 for
again? I agree with 100% with Damon. It's a prove it type of league. So like we are basically unproven, coming off a 4-game rookie quarterback who's going into his de facto rookie year if you can stay healthy. Again, we win. I prefer to be ranked lower anyway because we start stacking. Well, I don't play on Sunday, so the Colts start stacking W's.
I play on Sundays.
I don't want the spot.
I play with my fans on Sundays.
I don't want the spotlight. Like I don't want the publicity. I just want the W. And as long as the Colts get the W, I'm perfectly happy with that. So.
Gotcha. Oh, Cody is a Colts fan. Appreciate that. Yeah, he's saying getting out of here with that. Yeah, I'm not saying it out loud. Like I said, I don't even type it in that way. If you guys ever see me talking, you see TIGHTEN. That's how I say their little chant that they got.
No team history. No team history. Tighten.
Hey, tighten up. You should have told Nathan Mason that at the 1 yard line.
Nathan here is saying, did you guys hear that the Colts called up a kicker tomorrow? Yes, Nathan, you missed it. We definitely spoke about that. Chris Lemons as well. They had to call Chris Lemons up because we don't have a backup nickel corner. So he had to come up as well. I don't know if everybody already was hurt. Figured that. He was like a week or two ago. But he was on the practice squad for like a couple days. So, practice squad. Hopefully he doesn't have to come in regardless. Yeah, practice squad guys. They move like the male. No, he actually played pretty well when he played some reps at slot corner.
Yeah, but
I think Kenny Moore.
Yeah. Hey, when we played Houston last year, Kenny ended up having to go play out wide. He did. Yeah. He did a lot of that game. So hopefully, that's what I'm saying. Hopefully he doesn't have to do that.
Also against the Rams, when Puka Nacua was cooking us in that first half, and then
whenever Nico started cooking us, we put Kenny on him too.
That's one of those things too.
Slow things down. So,
like I appreciate Kenny's ability to be able to do that to try to help us get out of a tight spot, but I'm hoping, like we were talking about earlier with our cautious optimism with Jalen Jones and Juju Brents. I'm hoping we can just leave Kenny where he excels in that nickel role and just let him get after guys. But it is nice that like if he has to get us out of a tight spot and maybe play some man coverage out wide, he's able to do that.
Yeah, Nathan is asking here, so Matt Gay is out tomorrow. Yes, he is out tomorrow. I'm just gonna throw that out there. They say they don't know. He's gonna be like a game time decision or whatever, but he's gonna be out.
High probability, yeah.
Yeah, he had surgery on a sports hernia. That he was dealing with. So I don't know if it was just a Gruen. That's what they said before. Ended up being a sports hernia. So, yeah, he's out.
I imagine that is hard to kick with, to be fair. I know he had a couple shanks and misses. That's tricky, man. That's
Vinny had one in 2010, and that's whenever we went to the Super Bowl, and that's why we ended up
Vinny is Vinny, bro.
Yeah, and Vinny, did y'all hear that story about whenever they were trying to show Vinny he couldn't make it? And Vinny went and made that was that Pat McAfee story when he went like 6 for 6 for like 55 plus on the left hash.
He's the GOAT, dude. That's why he's the GOAT.
And they're like, buddy, you need rest.
Sit down, brother.
I just hate that it's so much inconsistency, man. Like we already knew what it was, bringing in different guys, having kicker competition and stuff, man. You're coming in here to kick the goddamn ball, man.
We pay you so much, dude.
I've never even remembered this many kicking injuries, man. I remember Vanderjet for the longest time. I remember
Vinny.
Vinny. I remember Gronkowski. I remember Goshkowski. I remember all those guys for so long. Like kickers never really were ever heard of until these days. Now all of a sudden they're getting big money and they're always hurt. So it's just like, come on.
We were definitely spoiled though, having Vinny for so long. Like
Yeah,
I feel like
Vanderjack
other
before
teams
Vinny.
maybe have been dealing with, constantly swapping kickers and shit.
The drunk
Maybe it just
kicker.
wasn't even on our radar because we had the GOAT,
We had
Stupid
the
kicker.
We had the stupid drunk kicker before
Idiot
Vinny.
kicker.
So, like, yeah.
Yeah, Zach, I shared it to a chat group or a trash talk group. That's why.
Excellent.
Showing off the colors tonight. Just want to get that out there.
Excellent.
But yeah, man. So my thoughts on it, man. I really don't care where you start in the rankings. It's kind of just like Damon said. I believe it was the Carson Wentz year. I believe we were at like 27 for like the first couple games, and then we kind of rose all the way up to one point. I think it was like 8 or something like that. So I never really cared too much about the rankings. It's just like where you start. Like I said, it changes week to week. I don't like some of the reasons where they'll move people sometimes, but I just like for it to be fluid. So to me, it's not really about where you start. It's about as long as you're, moving up that chart each week. Is pretty much where I was at with that. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it, man. Let's get right into it. Let's get to it. What's the matchups? What are we looking for tomorrow? Our offense, Houston's defense. What are we looking for?
Their receivers versus our corners. I mean, that is the biggest matchup, in my opinion, tomorrow. Their receiving core is coming back healthy and improved, in my opinion. I prefer people to save the Stephon Diggs. He's a great receiver, so I'm not going to go to lengths and saying that, he's not going to show up or he's not going to play well. That receiving core has got better. So that to me is the biggest matchup. I don't want to get into the next part yet. I think we're going to get more into that a little bit later, so I'll just leave it at that's my key matchup.
I wanted to let Trevor, Zach go, but Damon went where all the crybaby Colts fans go, man. Our secondary versus the Houston Texans receiver. I don't give a shit.
That's fair, bro. That's a key matchup.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying
that's not a key matchup.
I'm just saying that's where the crybaby fans go when they want to complain and say that Indy is overmatched and there's no chance and they cry that we're gonna lose.
I never said that.
Hey, no, I'm not saying you. I'm in some group chats.
Like
I said, this is what Colts fans do all the time. They say we're gonna die. We got no corners. We got no secondary. We're gonna lose. Tell that to Houston's defensive line. Jonathan Taylor is licking his chops and running on your ass for 200 fucking yards. So that's our matchup too. Your D line better come ready. They better be hungry.
I'm gonna save the rest of it for later. I
just want to make sure Colts fans
because I'm gonna make y'all more mad later. So I'm just gonna wait.
I just wanted to throw that one in there.
For me, it starts up front with barbecue chicken. It's can Houston stop our D line? The answer is no.
Yeah,
like Shaq says, it's barbecue chicken. We're getting at least 3 sacks, and I want CJ to take his weak ass home to weak ass Houston. So,
hey Grant, are you talking about for fantasy? Let us know. Go ahead, Trev.
Hey, by the way, just wanted to shout out Grant Mitchell. They do they also partner with ZTV. They do a Pacers podcast called 3 Point Threat, I believe. Really good stuff, man. So shout out Grant. But yeah, key matchup for Colts versus Texas tomorrow. The wide receivers versus the secondary. That's the big one people are going to spotlight, right? And that's definitely part of it. But I'm thinking less about what they could do offensively and more what we should be doing offensively. So I kind of lean your way as well, DeMarco, with Jonathan Taylor and the O-line getting a push. I know they made some additions defensively. I know they brought in old boy from the Vikings. I can't remember his name right now. They got Greener down. Like, they have a solid defense, but I'm expecting us to come out looking strong with our O-line, get a lot of rushing yards. And I want to see Anthony Richardson ball out, obviously, but I'm really looking at the rushing attack this game. And I'm hoping it carries us to 4 or 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And when I mean to say, what's up, Chris? Chris is in here. Nathan is saying here, JT's running for 200 yards. Chris is staying here. Forget about the wide receiver versus corner matchup. If the front seven gets pressure, we'll be better than expected. And I know it's going to sound a lot of bias because it's coming from me. Obviously, look at my gear. But when I mean to say look at the matchups as far as it goes with their receivers versus our corners, And when I bring up JT versus their defensive line or their front seven, I just mean to say this game is going to be about matchups. I just hate when people completely neglect the fact that we have a football team. Like it's like people expect us to walk in there and get rolled over just because Houston has some good receivers and CJ Stroud, Nico Collins had a good game and completely act like JT didn't have a good game, like we got blown out or something. That's the part that just pisses me off. Because, like, bro, we're 15 yards away, a drop in 15 yards away from people talking about the Colts in a whole different light. So I just want to bring that out there, put that out there, just make sure people know. But yeah, I would say for me, the key matchup is going to be the trenches. I don't think it's necessarily going to come down to wide receivers or secondaries or anything like that. It's going to come down to who can run the ball efficiently and who can protect their quarterback better. Just making sure that, you keep your quarterback upright. And I think that's what this game will come down to, in my opinion, what the last game came down to. When we couldn't get to C.J. Stroud, and he made those key plays late in the game. And, we kind of kept Minshew up, but we just didn't make enough plays. But that's what I feel like.
I'm glad you brought that up, too, because it's felt like this whole offseason, especially like the last couple of weeks as we get closer to the season, all we talk about and all the national conversation or like just general football fans, not so much Colts or Texans fans, they all just think we're walking into a slaughterhouse and the Texans are going to pick us apart. I'm like, did you guys not watch last year? Like we went 1-1 against this team. And that second game literally came down to one play and we had a backup quarterback, a backup running back. Like it's kind of outlandish to me that this is the expectation that we're just such a massive underdog. I don't think we are. I think we're pretty evenly matched. They have bigger names on the wide receiver list. I think our wide receiver cores are kind of balanced too. I think they have more experience, but we have young dogs, man. Like I don't understand the bias here, man. Like just the expectation that somehow the Texans are the Kansas City Chiefs now. I don't see that at all, dude. They have a lot of growth. They have a lot of room to grow. All right, so I expect this to be a dogfight, just like the AFC South is every year. And I do think it comes down to the trenches. I think that's the most important part of football, and I think we're better there. So call me crazy. I like us in this game.
And can I go on this right here, DeMarco? And what Dave's saying right here is, I think I even brought this up on an earlier show this year. We did that a lot in Indy. You know what I mean? Whenever Andy started to hit his stride,
real quick, Damon. Let me just read it out for the non-viewing listeners. So Dave Stewart is saying here, sometimes when you bring in all these free agents, it just doesn't gel. Houston has a lot to prove too. Go ahead, David.
I think it's easier for a receiver to gel in an offense than a running back a lot of times. So I don't see Joe Mixon being a massive threat in that offense, but I do think someone like Stephon Diggs in a group that needs veteran leadership can make a benefit. But going into that as well, I mean, that is 100% true, Dave, because a lot of teams do that, and sometimes it just does not gel with the guys they bring in. And then going off what Trev said as well, I completely agree. I don't think our receiving cores are super far off either. And that's why, like I always say, I think Josh Downs is the untold X factor in that group. So it sucks he's out tomorrow, but dude, Josh Downs' rookie season was criminally underrated. That's all I'm gonna say. Criminally underrated. And maybe tomorrow we get to see a little bit more of A.D. Mitchell in that spot. But dude, when Josh Downs is back, healthy and playing good, that's going to be a really sneaky good receiver core.
Absolutely, completely agree.
I do. I want to pass it to Zach as well, because you said something earlier that I liked a lot about they're going to get catches, but you have to stop them getting yak. I think that's a huge part. That
I think. Just real quick, Zach. I just wanted to say something before you went, because what Zach was talking about was a lot of that was our defense looked like it was more terrible because of the fact that we were missing tackles. Yeah, that was a lot of our mistakes.
That'll do it, dude.
Yeah, go ahead, Zach.
Like, I don't give a shit if bro has 20 catches or 15 catches.
He's great.
If he has 15 catches for 83 yards and no touchdowns, bros, that's success.
Yeah.
As long as if you keep Houston out of the paint and force them to go to tight end 3, RB2, tight end 2, dink and dunk down the field, kick field goals and or chew up most of the clock, I'm fully content with that, because I truly believe our offense is like lightning. It only takes AR at the mesh point and either keeping it, giving it, or throwing it yard to somebody because you can't cover everybody in our offense. So just keep them out the paint, and I think we'll be good to go.
Yeah, completely agree, man. I just think that's the thing that would just irritate me is that people act like we're just supposed to go out there and lay down. Like I just think it's absolutely absurd to me. Nathan is saying here, AR will throw for 200. AD Mitchell, Pittman will get passing touchdowns. Max Skull saying here he thinks they made a lot of improvements, which is why he thinks that they will be better. Dave Stewart is saying here, Diggs is a head case. I live in Buffalo and saw it firsthand. I also been saying that a lot to Texans fans. I've been making some jokes about it. I keep telling them by week 4, 5, or 6, because he's clearly not going to be the receiver one. He's going to be throwing his helmet pretty soon. So
sometimes it's just a receiver,
y'all sound
though,
like
man.
haters now, bro.
You get that receiver drama, bro.
Hey! Whoa! Don't say this is hate. We've seen it in 2 different teams.
Yeah,
like
he
come
did
on,
it in
dog.
Buffalo, and then threw a fit out of his mind.
He is one of those though. Like he can back it up.
He would have issues when Josh Allen wasn't just throwing him the ball, or when Kirk Cousins would miss him. He's not receiver 1 anymore. So just
offseason pre-draft, we were able to pick up Stephon Diggs on a good contract in a good situation. Would y'all be complaining?
No,
yes.
hell no.
I
would complain. He's a dog. He's a dog.
Bro, no.
He's an incredible talent, bro.
I would be complaining. I wouldn't have wanted to trade for.
I'll say this: if he produces, I'm all for it. If not, he's like Paris Campbell and can get out of here.
Oh, don't you pull at DeMarco strings now?
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, like think about when Michael Pittman had to go to Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen and say, "Hey, give me the goddamn ball." If that was Stephon Diggs, we would have never heard about that. We would have seen it on the fucking sideline.
Yeah,
I don't want that shit on my team unless you're Reggie Wayne or Marvin Harrison. I don't want to see you throwing no fit on the sideline. And those guys need to throw fits. So
I understand.
I would have not wanted Stephon Diggs. He's old too. Like, what the hell are we talking about? Like, I'm not trying to know.
No, the reason I say that is because like this is one thing Ballard has always said that I do agree with is like when it comes like character versus talent, your talent has to outweigh whatever negative character traits you might have. So he's a diva sometimes, but honestly, a lot of receivers are divas, man. I expect AD Mitchell to have a little bit of that to him.
But if you don't act like Terrell Owens, I don't want to fit.
Yeah.
Like
he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, so I might take that too.
Yeah, man.
It's about what's on the. I get what you're saying. I do agree, but
I totally get what Damon is saying. But it's like if we had the same receiving core we had 2 years ago, then I'd totally be agreeing with you. And for where his talent and production was 2 years ago, but the Bills literally had to go away from him and start running the ball to be more successful. And then he had the big drop versus Kansas City, which could have won the game for them. Like, it's just too many things that I look at and be like, okay, look, his age. I think Houston gave him the like $5 million pay raise for this season for it to be a 1-year deal. Like, I wouldn't necessarily want that. I would want some longevity. And then looking at our core now, where we have Pittman, we got Downs, we got AD. I'm still calling Pierce our third receiver outside of not calling him slot. I necessarily wouldn't be going for it.
Did we pick up Laquan Treadwell on the practice squad?
Yes, yeah. He's still on practice squad. So it's just like I don't really see our receiving core being in that same light. So I get what you're saying, but like if we wouldn't have got like when the first round went and we didn't get a receiver, then I could kind of understand.
Sure.
Because I didn't think we were going to end up with AD Mitchell or Brian Thomas or somebody like that. So that was where I had it. But what's up, Cody? Appreciate you coming in here, man. Been trying to get in touch with you guys for a while.
Hey, if you guys don't know, go check out Bring the Juice. Cody and I forget his running mate. We tried to have him on as a guest one time. That's a quality podcast. Cody's a good dude.
Hell yeah.
Nothing but love. Go Colts, man.
Yeah. Cody and Derek.
Yeah, Derek.
Nathan is saying here, I want to see Pierce step up tomorrow. I don't know how much of that we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I want to see AD go crazy. That's what I really prefer.
What I see with Pierce, man, I think he gets like one catch, but I think it's for like 42 yards. Like he's gonna have one big play and not do anything else the rest of the game. But I'm cool with that, dude. Just fill out your
That's what we need.
That's
That's what we need it for.
You said Pierce?
Yeah, Pierce.
Yeah.
One catch, 42 yards. Give it to me.
Just for personal reasons, I would love to see that. For personal reasons. Dave Stewart saying that Josh Allen took all the blame to keep Diggs from huge scrutiny. I kind of think they went both ways. I get what you're saying. I don't want to put all the blame on Diggs. I don't think Diggs is a total bad guy. But receivers are divas. We know this. But there's different ways of doing it. Like, we watched Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, T.Y. Hilton, and they obviously had some
timeout.
of the best
You just
quarterbacks
ruined
out
it.
there in the league.
You put T.Y. Hilton in the same sentence as Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison, dog.
No, because I'm saying
in
T.Y.
the
Hilton.
Colts history.
I meant as a number one wide receiver.
Oh, I'm a T.Y. Hilton super fan, man. But yeah, that's damn right.
No, I meant like having that guy as the receiver and not seeing him sit there and complain, being the receiver one and being a
That's
humble
fair.
guy. Like,
That's
I
fair.
meant
Professionalism.
not talent wise, not talent.
Hey, but talent wise, T.Y.
talent
in
is-
Houston, every bit as good of him.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
In
I just don't.
Houston.
I personally don't think anybody is on Marvin Harrison level as far as talent. I think there's maybe two other receivers that I would put in his
Randy
top.
Moss and T.O.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
He's top 5 though.
And then Dave said we will see about Diggs. They can cut him next year with no negatives. It's actually not even a cut. He'd be a free agent next year. But yeah, totally agree. So we'll see how it goes, man. Damon's just more so he loves to see the free agent moves. He likes to see those signings, as some of us would like to see. Think it would make your team better. But I just don't necessarily think that every move is a good move. Cody said, much love. Sorry, schedule has been crazy, but soon for sure. Yeah, definitely. We'd love to get that done, man. But yeah. What about let's go the other way around. I had said our offense versus their defense, but Damon has switched it up. So let's go ahead and switch it up to now our offense versus their defense. What are we expecting to see there? How do we like matchups there for you guys?
Run the damn ball.
I think we win this game by running the ball 100%. If we run the ball efficiently like we always do, we're going to win this game. I think
They can't take.
they can't. I don't think they can
take away both. Like, they can literally, it's AR or JT, and if they take AR away, I have no problem giving JT 32 touches for 335 yards and 7 TDs. Like,
That's me every game. That's me every game.
Bro, I have no problem turning this into Madden. Like,
I don't know about 7. I don't know about 7 TDs because that Packer defensive line is not all that great.
Well, I'm not talking
Packer. I'm just saying we don't want to, give JT too much because we need that next week against
I feel you.
Because we got a chance to start. We got a chance to start 2-0 here.
The way I see it, if they're truly, because let's remember, AR tore them up before he took himself out with that concussion. They had no answer. So I'm sure they're watching tape from last year and they're all like, "Oh dang, like how do we stop him from doing, the Charleston in our end zone?" So
yeah. Dude, that's an interesting thing too, because we don't even know. We don't even know what we're ready to expect from AR. We don't know how much he's progressed since the last time we saw him. I expect good things, but you know what I mean? Like, as far as what he's going to do.
I fully expect Indy to come out in the wishbone tomorrow and do some crazy motion where AR just rolls out and throws it to AD, who's always open on film. And I assume we'll be open tomorrow for a touchdown. So
RPO action, weak side left, send the X on a fade route.
Dude.
It just the straight up Cam Newton Auburn
there's
special.
So many options with the personnel we have, dude, and we're Steichen just cooking up whatever crazy mastermind plans he's going to have. But, it's going to be exciting.
That's how it is. For me, Colts win this game by dominating the trenches. So it starts on defense. You get the sacks. You get in CJ's head. That way you can literally play country cover 3 in the back end. But because he's so scared, he's going to throw picks because he's getting harassed all game. And then up front, you just play bully ball. You just do your best impersonation of what the Tennessee Titans have done for the past 5 years in this division. And
what we've done.
Yeah.
With
literally with Nelson and Frank, what we did before that. We just run the rock.
Don't do anything that Frank did to dominate.
He did run the ball pretty decently.
He had a couple good years.
So I give him some credit. Like I won't give him a whole lot, but
Go look at JT's carries versus Tennessee, and then you'll change your entire thing.
yeah, I feel you. But I'm just saying, just be run first. Run first. I don't care who totes the rock, but if the Colts don't at least attempt 30 rushes to 40 rushes this game, in my opinion, they won't win. If they're not trying to run the ball at least 40 times, whoever touches it at least 40 times, they won't win.
Chad is saying here that AR and JT will both have 100+ yards. Yeah. And so basically what Zach is saying out there is that that we should not do with what Lamar Jackson and the Ravens did on Thursday.
Yeah.
Don't go out there and throwing the ball for absolutely no reason when you got a tank in your backfield that teams can literally not stop if you just keep running the ball. They'll eventually break one. They'll keep hurting that defense. You'll just keep leaning your body on them, and eventually you'll break a camel's back. So.
Dude, and the fact of the matter is we've had him for years now. I don't want it to get overlooked because we've gotten so used to him being out there, but we still have Quentin Nelson. We still have Ryan Kelly. We still have Braden Smith. These are gigantic dudes ready to just run downhill and run people over. Like, it doesn't get better than that. There's nothing more efficient than that in football. A big dude running you over while the running back takes off. It works every time without fail, and that's what we do best. So RTDB, do it, man.
Up the gut all game.
Yeah, I do want to let everybody know that this is one of the most wide open years for this division as well. I will tell you guys,
I agree,
that 3 teams are predicting that they will win the division this year. So it's going to be a pretty wild year. But I do,
for what it's worth, too, with that, the Titans could be surprising. Like, I do think the division's a dogfight. If Levis is worth the shit, the Titans might not be a terrible team. You know what I mean? So it's really anybody's game.
I was thinking that originally, but some news today is that DeAndre Hopkins, he'll be pretty much pain managing his knee all year. So it's kind of looking like he might need surgery, not necessarily sure.
It's time to retire.
They're gonna hold on. Yeah, I saw that too.
I thought that the Titans would be really. I mean, I still think that the Titans will be really explosive, but that kind of changes my mind a little bit about the receiving core. I know they still got Traylon Burks, who some people are holding some hope out for, but I think they'll be explosive.
Hey, anytime you put mayonnaise in your coffee, I lose all respect for you. So 1-15, 1-16, here y'all come.
But yeah, I want to jump into one real quick. So we know about our defensive line versus their offensive line. Some think it's okay. Some don't really, not too sure about their offensive line. I know some of their fans really hoping that they keep C.J. Stroud upright. But there's one key matchup that I'm looking for. I'm looking for Leatu Latu and Kwity Paye versus Laramie Tunsil. How do you guys see this matchup going? I know some people think that you would want to move Latu up and down the defensive line, kind of like you did at UCLA. You'll likely have Kwity Paye possibly matched up over there, or Tyquan Lewis as well. Don't want to leave him out of this. But how do you guys see that matchup going against their left tackles?
Can I speak on this?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
As a former offensive lineman. So, nothing sucks more than not seeing the same guy every snap. Because offensive linemen study. I would study guys, their movements, what their go-to move was, what their first counter and what their second counter is. So, and plus Tunsil has experience with Kwity, with Tyquan, with Deo, but Latu, he's not seen him. So to me, I'd be real limited in Latu and essentially say, hey, you're coming off the right side all day, and then be real selective where you use Latu. At the same time, though, I don't want to let Tunsil ever get comfortable. So I say roll all 3 of them over there all different times and just show him a bunch of different stuff. He's an all-pro. Make him prove to you he's still an all-pro. Make him prove to you he's probably the second best tackle in the league behind the guy that just got paid in San Francisco, the silverback, Trent Williams. So, make him prove to you that he can still do what he can do. And if he can, hey, hats off. Dude's a dog. But if it's a Jonathan Ogden type Dwight Freeney situation where Ogden can't stop Freeney ever, then the Colts need to expose the piss out of him and send Latu
if it works,
every down.
Do it.
If it works, ain't nothing wrong with beating a dead horse as long as it still works. So that's how I see it. Just make it difficult. Like throw a bunch of different dudes at him, see what sticks, see what doesn't, and be done with it.
Definitely was expecting to hear that and kind of was thinking the same thing. Lamont Prince Kendema is saying here, I believe you're a new name in here, so appreciate you coming in if you are.
Welcome to meet you, bro.
Saying Colts Nation. We got Joshua Merchant. He's one of our regulars. Appreciate you. He says, "What's up, guys? Let's go, Colts, baby." Jermaine is saying Texans by 21. Hey, I just want to say this right now. Inbox me and put your money where your mouth is, man. I already got money on this game. If you really talking that talk, if you want to say Texans by 21, you got us fucked up. Just want to let you know that. So go ahead and inbox me and put your money where your mouth is if you really believe that, man. Ash is saying, hello, guys.
Welcome.
Forgot today was Saturday. I don't know how you do that, Ash. We've been waiting for
college
this day.
Football.
What is it? It's been 321 days or something like that. Something like that. So I don't know how you forget that one, but what's up, Ash? Dave is saying here, plus if you roll 3 DNs on Tunsil, that rolls 3 against the right tackle. Yeah, I'm not too high on Titus Howard anyway, so I mean he gonna get work from whoever over there, but completely agree.
I agree with that too, man. I think that's where you got to attack more. Look, Laremy Tunsil.
You saying attack?
Yeah, attack Howard. Yeah, because I mean, Laremy Tunsil was Laremy Tunsil for a reason, right? As Zach pulls up with the cat.
Sorry, man. He's whiny, so like.
I agree with what you're saying. Like, try to rotate guys through and try to see if you can get something on him. But that dude's a brick wall, man. Like we know, we see him twice a year. He's tough. He's tough to beat. If you win 1 rep on him, it's a pretty good day, right? Like he is who he is for a reason. So if we can find success across the rest of the line, I'd rather see Latu do what he did at UCLA and kind of just roll him down the line, see what works best, see where he can get after the quarterback. I think that's probably the better way to go.
Damon, what you got on that one?
Yeah, go ahead, Damon.
I'm on the same page. I'm interested to see Gus's rotation tomorrow. I think is what I'm most interested to see because Gus does rotate those guys in and out super quick. Yep. But if we end up getting someone hot, I really like for that person to stay in the game and kind of keep at it. But usually I'm on the same side as y'all with this stuff, so I don't think we're far off.
For sure. Looks like Dave is just throwing something at Jermaine too. He still hasn't inboxed me. Fake Texan fan.
T. Willikers, Captain.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that was one matchup that I had there. I don't necessarily think as far as our D line versus Joe Mixon. I do think Joe Mixon is kind of a bad mismatch for our team, just because him as being that kind of runner plus receiver out of the backfield. That's kind of typically a running back that we usually struggle with, kind of like a Josh Jacobs type, somebody that we always let get those huge yardage on third downs out of screens and stuff like that. So I don't think it's a total mismatch. I think it could be like 40 to 60 on the ground, give him another 30 to 50 through the air. He could have a pretty good day, but I don't think it's something that I'm necessarily totally keyed in on. I think obviously the key mismatch is or matchup will be, like Damon pointed out in the beginning. Let me get you guys' overall thoughts on what we know. Everybody wants to know how the Colts are going to be. The Houston receivers versus the Colts DBs and safeties. What are we thinking?
Man, I think it really depends on the kind of coverages we roll out there. I mean, obviously it depends on a lot of stuff, right? If we hit the quarterback every play, then we don't have to worry about it. But realistically, just from what we've seen with Gus Bradley defense and with the Colts for the past couple of years, it's probably a lot of zone coverage, probably a lot of just rushing forward, not blitzing. That's just the defense we play. So, man, I think a successful day for us is what we talked about a little bit earlier with they get their catches, but they don't break off these big plays with the yak, right? So Chad says 3 picks tomorrow. Dude, that'd be incredible. But I'm not going to make that prediction. I don't see that. I do think we get a turnover, hopefully 2 tomorrow. I think that'd be a huge difference maker. But yeah, I think the biggest key for me is what Zach said very at the beginning of the show is catches no yak. Just stop them where they are, trade those 7 points for 3 points as often as possible. And I think that leads to a successful day for us. They're going to get their yards. They have a loaded enough offense that's going to happen. So we just have to contain them as best as we can and not let them break those big plays.
Yeah, I do want to say that the Houston Texans, I want to say CJ Stroud threw 5 picks in last year. 3 came in one game, and this team averaged about less than a turnover, 0.7 a game.
They're efficient. They're well coached.
So I wouldn't necessarily bank on too many turnovers. I think, but yeah.
We get 1. I think we get 1. I'm putting that prediction in. We get 1 fumble or something, but we get a turnover tomorrow.
I'm not mad at it. Zach, what you got?
For me, I'm not concerned necessarily with our corners.
Our corners?
Our corners. I'm not concerned with our corners because I think they've done enough overall to show you that we're capable. It all starts, for me, it's safety. You're going to put Cross out there, so Cross needs to hold up his end of the bargain. I don't have to worry about Blackman because Blackman had a career year last year and proved that he can play. We just got lucky that he wasn't paid by another team. We're able to get him back on the cheap.
Yeah.
So, like, to me, the biggest factor in this game is communication between safeties. And part B to this is what is Gus doing to disguise one of the better quarterbacks, rookie seasons we've seen? Because tape is out now. So teams are now going to know how to stop CJ Stroud. The tape's out. It then comes into, all right, so CJ, you struggle with this look. How can I disguise the shell of my defense to make you think one thing and then late movement to cause you to hesitate that extra second that allows, that dude that was beat to get caught up and or creates a sack or a turnover. So for me, it all starts and ends with the safeties. That's where quarterbacks are looking 99.9% of the time pre-snap. That's, to me, that will decide how this game shakes out. And if we're able, to beat a guy like CJ Stroud. Because if you can confuse him, I don't think it matters what the hell they do offensively because he's not going to know. And Nick Cross is a key piece of that. So
need a lot from him tomorrow.
Yeah.
For sure. What about you, Damon? I know this was a big one for you. I know how you feel about their receivers, man, and what they added versus our inexperienced secondary. What you got, Damon?
You know what killed us most last year with the Texans was, garbage time yards, but just getting, like in basketball, your second chance points. We get CJ out of the pocket. We got 2 linemen chasing him down, and a receiver gets wide open in a corner or over the middle, and then he makes that throw. That's literally what killed us last year with them. So that's my worry, but that goes back to like the safeties and the corners talk. I'm kind of on the same page as Zach, whereas the corners aren't my first concern. It's been the safeties and the communication back there. I don't know. I'm not going to be delusional. I'm not going to be super delusional and overly confident. But I think with an enhanced pass rush that we have now, that it could be a little bit better. So my opinion is kind of status quo.
For sure. I mean, I think – go ahead, Drew.
Yeah, I was just going to say I agree about the whole, second chance points thing, man. It way too often, not even just against the Texans, but against multiple teams last year, we'd force the quarterback out of the pocket or we'd have them 3rd and long, and then we give up some stupid big play, dude. So if we could just cut down on that.
The biggest example of that is versus Trevor Lawrence. We do it
all the time. And it's like we have them where we want them, and then we let them off the hook. So if we can cut down on that this year, especially against teams like the Texans and Trevor Lawrence, we'll be so much better off, dude. So I agree with that, David. I look for that to be a big factor all year, not just tomorrow.
Chad is saying here, well, we have the benefit of a lot of teams playing the second year together. Communication should have improved.
We hope so.
Josh is saying here, if we can chew the clock and keep TJ off the field, we can beat him. Yeah, I totally get where Damon is coming from. As far as what we see out of the secondary, when you have a lot of unknowns and unprovens, it's not necessarily something that, like Damon said, he doesn't like to be delusional or overconfident in it. Just like many of us may be, just to want to say that you don't think that position might not be as bad as it is. I think a lot of the Colts fan base has gotten to that point though. Where they pretty much would agree with your take on that, Damon, where they don't want to say everything is perfect or where they think we need to make a move, or where something may be, or how like other fan bases may look at our secondary and say that's trash. So I think that's just to the point being there. But I just think a lot of that comes from what we haven't seen. It's just like when we got Kenny Moore. He was an undrafted guy, Zaire Franklin, coming in. He was a 6th-round pick coming in. And there's a lot of confidence that we put in those guys after seeing them play for a year. So I think it's just something that we need to see from their experience and growth, to know that we can count on these guys. It's just like I said before, though. The reason I have belief because I have belief in their talents. Now, can they stay available? Can they stay on the field? Can Gus, change his stripes a little bit? Those are the things that I think needs to change for us. I just think I believe that we can bet on the talent that's there, which is why I have the confidence. I believe we have people that can play.
100%.
I don't disagree. And yeah, you pulled it up. Dave Stewart, you're 100% correct. CJ had a great year last year, but he's only in his second year. We don't need to measure him for a gold jacket. You're 100% correct because, CJ could not develop. He could essentially have one good year and then suck.
Trevor Lawrence.
Right. Right. I mean, that's a rarity in today's NFL, but it certainly can happen.
I'll take something from Tennessee fans, what they've been doing. They've been calling him CJ Prescott lately. Saying that that's what he'll have that good rookie season, and then he'll kind of just
plateau.
I mean,
still get his numbers, I'm sure, but
certainly could. So, in that aspect, I do agree. Like anything could happen. I just hope that the Colts don't do what the Colts have always done, and that is beat themselves. I always say RCE. So, recognize, communicate, and evaluate, or efficiency. And that's the coach talking me right there.
All right.
And,
coach him up, Zach.
As long as you do that and you're able to adjust, whether that's player to player doing it or coach to player or whatever it is, then I truly feel like the Colts are in good hands. Early on in the offseason, I was hypercritical of the continuity, hypercritical of, hey, we have this money. Every year we have this money. Every year it's the same song and dance. It's clearly not working. Change it.
Yeah.
And then, this year, especially offensively, I think the continuity and the pieces we've added are great. I really think that's going to pay off offensively. Defensively, going forward, the only question I have is free safety. I think this is the year. Someone put down in the comments, I don't know who, to me, this is Gus Bradley's job. This is Gus's job this year. It all starts in the division. How do you deal with the division foes? What are you going to do? Is this the year the Colts defense finally turns in to the 2012 Seahawks where you can't pass on us? And then everything else takes care of itself? Or is it going to be the Saxonville defense when he was there? Sure. I mean, it's got that. That has to be the next evolution of Gus Bradley here in Indy.
We have the people. We have the guys.
Right. We have the pieces. We're either going to turn into LOB 2.0 or LOB in Indy. That rhymes. I'm going to trademark that. Or we're going to turn in, to Saxonville. And it's got to. If not, he's got to go. It starts week 1. You have to win the division. That is the first goal. Shane has said it in press conferences. It starts in the division. Get it done. Figure it out. That's all.
Yeah, man. I think Zach pretty much nailed it all there. as far as what is going on, what needs to be done. Somebody just pulled up some stats about Gus Bradley being with the Legion of Boom and then showing kind of his history with the Chargers and with the Jacksonville Jaguars. It typically took about year 3 or 4 to kind of see what his defenses were. His trend was the first 2 years were kind of down. Third, fourth year trended up, except for with I believe it was Jacksonville. Or not Jacksonville. I believe it was with Oakland. His first 2 years they were bad, or no, good, and then trended down. So we're kind of going to see where it comes from there. You kind of feel like you get your continuity, you get your guys, you know what system you're coaching, you put the guys in place to be able to make it happen. I think you nailed it all, man. I don't think I have much to add there. What a throw from DJ Lightweight. Oh, my God. I don't have much to add from there. I think Zach pretty much nailed it all. It starts here. It's the division. It's week 1. We got to break the curse. We're already breaking the curse with Anthony Richardson being the back-to-back starter for the first time since 2014. Yeah. That's one curse to break. Let's break week 1.
Break the 0-1 curse week 1.
Let's get that done. Let's break the curse of Jacksonville, losing down there. So I have nothing to add to that. Damien, you got anything to add to that?
Nope.
No. Trev, you
just the biggest thing is like I said before, we have the personnel, right? For Gus to run the defense he wants to run. There's really no more excuses. So as Nathan said earlier, make or break for Gus. I kind of agree, man. It's this year. You really want to see him get the most out of it, right? We've had solid defense the past couple years, but it's not where it probably should be. So now it does feel like we have the people, we have the personnel. The time is now. It should be a very good defense. So yeah,
John Cena. The time is now.
The time is now. There you go.
I mean, so realistically, am I going out on a limb and saying my expectations are too high? If this defense isn't top 10, then he's got to go.
No. I think if we're 15, if we're middle of the pack, I think that's a plus. If we can add in some turnovers and pressure.
Yeah, I'm not going to say he's got to go if we're not.
But top 10, I
think we could.
I personally would love to say top 10 because I have the extreme faith in our front seven. But just like Damon here, this is where I got to kind of pull back my confidence because I have confidence in the front seven. But when we get to that back end, I can't say top 10 there. I can put us top 15 though. I can put us middle of the pack.
The only reason I just try to compare Gus to Eberflus because similar systems. Flus had a top 10 defense by year 3. Like when he got here, the first 2 years were rough. By 2018 or 2019, 2020, they were legit. Whatever year it was, we finished 11th in the league. Like they were legit, bro. Like that's what I'm hoping for.
That was in turnovers and yardage, but we kind of
it worked.
It worked. What I'm saying,
the soft cover 2 zone.
Yeah, man.
Bend don't break.
I think it's a tough one. I can't necessarily say without perfect, defenders on the back end and then rushers in the front end. I think it's tough to be.
Darius Leonard was a big part of that because of his playmaking. Sure. So I understand, but the results are the results, right? It was a good defense.
I do got high expectations for EJ Speed and Zaire Franklin.
Agreed.
As the linebackers to start getting to that point where they're creating turnovers now. I don't want them to just be tackling machines. I need
right.
But yeah, I know Trev said he had an hour in here. We're already at that, so don't want to keep you over too long. But David is coming in here. He's saying, "How's it going, lads? So glad football is back. So ready to get up at 3 a.m. on the East Coast."
Dedication, bro.
Australia going. Oh my God! When you said 3 a.m., I almost fainted.
You're a hero, like Monday?
Here,
or is that like 3 a.m. Monday?
Pretty much.
It's dedication, bro.
And then Chad is saying here, even if we have an average team overall, if they start running on all cylinders, every game will be a dogfight and we would be winning.
That's how we were last year.
I don't know. Yeah, I was just about to say, Chad, that's how we were last year.
Average, but we had some fight in us.
And we would kind of lose some games, that we wouldn't expect to. So I expect us to have a bit more inconsistency outside of Anthony Richardson just because we don't know what we're looking forward to over 17 games. So I hope that we're an above average team overall. and then maybe average in some other areas, such as maybe secondary, maybe turnovers.
That'd be a win. Yeah.
I think we need to be above average in other areas because I think that's what we did last year. I think Steichen pretty much had us as above average in some simple areas. Ash says she's excited. Dave Stewart says break the curse week 1, then get Green Bay in love.
One week at a time, bro. 1 week at a time.
Ash is saying she wants
Green Bay's got Malik Willis.
So real quick, so we can go ahead and wrap up, man. Appreciate everybody who's came through tonight. I'm still holding on to my prediction. I got them all written up here for Trev and for Zach and Damon. We did our predictions for the Colts season. So Trev, we didn't get yours, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw mine in there. I had us continue getting that week 1 win, breaking the curse there. Trev, what do you got? Houston versus Indy, week 1, win or loss. What you got?
Give me a chaotic game. I think we turn the ball over. I think we force a turnover. I think it's going to get a little crazy, but ultimately, I think that run game prevails. I think our trench game prevails. I think we win this one. Give me 27-24.
27-24, Trev, got it. All right. So I had a win there. I'm going to go ahead and give a score. I'm going to say 27-17 Colts. Get the W there in the Loud House. So, Damon, you had us taking the loss week 1 in Houston. Are you keeping that same L, or do you think that we might have changed over the last couple months here?
I'm keeping that L, boys. Sorry. I think AR is going to be rusty. He's going to pull it together at the end. We're going to run the ball really well, but I think we're going to lose this game 27-20.
All right. And, Zach, what do you got? You also had us losing week 1. What do you got? Do you think we've either changed or done?
I'm going to change my pick just because I think we're sweeping the division this year.
Ooh.
We're going to own the division, bro. So
all right.
I think Colts will win 31-28. I think it's going to literally be an offensive explosion because I think while I understand what Damon's saying, I think AR is out to prove people, hey, I am him. Indy, I am him. Like, I love me some me. So this offense is gonna go do its thing.
I love me some me.
Yeah. This offense is gonna go do its thing and get stuff done. So I'm going 31-28. Indianapolis wins a late field goal. Wouldn't shock me to see it 28-28 into overtime. But I just say winner by 3 points.
Hey, who kicks that field goal though? That's the question now.
Schrader.
I don't care who it is. It could be backup quarterback. It could be
Schrader. Is he gonna make it?
It could be Rodrigo.
Schrader's cold, bro.
I mean, they could go get goggles again. I don't care who it is.
Oh,
just
not
kick
goggles.
that bad.
It will be Schrader. It will be Schrader. He's the guy that hasn't been, injury prone. He's been kicking big kicks. Give me Schrader.
Hey, he looked good in preseason. I'll give him that, man.
So Zach, I put a slash by your pick because you did have originally an L, so I'll still give you credit just because.
Come over to the good guy side, dude.
But definitely appreciate you doing that. Dave Stewart said, great show, guys. Hopefully,
thank you.
Happy talk next Sunday. Josh is coming here, my guy. What's up? What's good, fellas? Yeah, man. So I've kept mine through and through. Hasn't really been too much change there. I just think that we match up well. If you guys watch Nick Casario on his podcast, it was about the trenches. He was talking about how good Indy was in the trenches, how explosive we will be. I think we can finally see this offense come together, just like we saw week 1 last year, or not week 1 last year, week 2 last year versus Houston. But we saw some of the up and downs, so I can get some of the hesitancy. But I'm ready to go. I'm pumped up. I'm fired up. We'll get this going. Appreciate everybody who came through tonight. Can't wait to get the season started, ready to roll. Everybody be ready to go. Let's do it.
We'll be right back here next week as well. Baby. Go Colts.
Second down, he fakes the Taylor, fires over the middle, completes. Pittman